All right, Sam, week 3 is here. It's number 2 Michigan getting ready for Bowling Green tonight in prime time action here at the Big House. I think we're excited. You're excited. Let's do a deep dive in. Let's get in there. Let's preview this Michigan offense. Obviously, J.J. McCarthy has been efficient. I don't think he's had a few incompletions. 90%. He just looked spectacular. Let's talk about that passing attack. We'll get into the rushing attack, but let's talk about that passing attack. What are the next steps you're expecting from J.J. in week 3?
Yeah, man, they've been, I think, really limited in how much of their playbook they've exposed so far. They really worked the play-action passing game a lot. They threw in a few option routes last week, but what I've marveled at and what I think the country has marveled at, pundits everywhere, is how he's made the right decision every single time. So I think it'll be a stairwise thing where they add a few more wrinkles this week. Maybe this will be the week where we see our first RPO, right? Maybe. We'll see. But if we get in this game and they call 10 play-action passes, don't be surprised, because they get such big chunks out of that play. And you see JJ using the whole field. This is one of the things that we talked about last week, right? First pass play of the game, he drops back in the play action pass, and they're in 3 deep coverage, and you look like you see Roman Wilson running a flag route, and everyone's saying he's open. He's not. He's covered. He drops it down to Blake Corum for a 20-yard completion. And then you see him hit dig after dig after dig. He is just on. He is on fire. So it's about how much more they put on his menu this week. Again, if there's a wrinkle that I'd be most interested in seeing, it's a little RPO, because I know we're going to be in situations against better teams where that becomes something that could be very, very useful.
And I know you hit on this. Number 1 quarterback for the play action pass the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We expect that to continue today. And the number 1 quarterback in Pro Football Focus overall.
So, I mean,
the play has been there.
To me, more than JJ, I'm looking at the run game to see if they continue to try to work the perimeter run game. That was a real focus last week. And then Donovan Edwards. So they've done a great job of scheming touches. Over the first couple of weeks, Blake Corum has 30 touches. Donovan Edwards has 27 touches. But scheming rhythm, I think, might be a thing. With Blake, you see him get back-to-back touches, right? Like, he'll get a carry and then another carry, maybe 2 or 3 plays later, and another carry. With Donovan, it's a little more sporadic than that. So one of the things I'll be looking for is, do they scheme? Do they game plan getting both backs into a rhythm, but especially Donovan into a rhythm in this game?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Donovan's really the average per carry hasn't been there as last year. He was near 7 yards per carry. Definitely expecting more from him today against Bowling Green. Switching up for the defense, obviously the big storyline coming in this, no one's scoring on Michigan.
Yeah.
The backups have played great. The secondary has been banged up. Guys like Rod Moore, Makari Page, Will Johnson only played a series last week. Amari Walker, excuse me. You got to see. Are we going to see some of those guys play today, Sam?
Yeah, talking to him last week, they said Rod and Makari have been practicing, and they were very, very close. Last week they were on the questionable list. So I'd be looking for Will for sure. Like, how many series does Will get? You want to get him a lather getting ready for Big Ten play, and then see Rod and Makari some. I don't expect to see Amari Walker today. Still lingering injury. You hope he's able to be on the mend, because he was a guy who they were really looking at to be part of the answer at that other corner. But in his absence, I think the other guys have been revelations. Josh Wallace has looked really, really good as a new addition. And then Keyshawn Harris, the former walk-on, man. All the guys were talking about him this summer, like this former walk-on was going to be a real factor, and people were taking that to mean like they were in dire straits, when it was more of a reflection of this dude can play. Like, he just needed experience in a position, but he's one of the fastest guys on the team. Like, he can really, really run, and now that he's getting some technique added to the mix, they're seeing him be a guy who can be a real contributor throughout the season, not just in the preseason, or not just in the early season against these preseason opponents, right?
And obviously, building that depth, building that experience is going to pay dividends when they play a team that can go out 5 wide and they can put all those defensive backs on the field. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. We already know you think Michigan's going to win. I think the last thing I saw, the point spread was around 40 points.
Yeah.
Does Michigan cover? What's your sort of prognosis here for this outcome tonight?
No, I don't think they cover, man. They'll win handily, but 2 reasons they don't cover. First of all, their starters are only playing 3 quarters. Gone are the days of Jim playing his guy. You remember we watched the game, they're up big, and Jim has the guys
He
in.
likes those big scoreboards.
Yeah, he'd have them in the game, like, you know, with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. It's like, come on, ask me why. They are doing that this year. Those guys are out at the end of the third quarter. So that lends itself to them not covering. So, too, does the fact that it's like Michigan South. Like, they got the head coaches from Michigan, the receiver coaches from Michigan, the defensive coordinators from Michigan, the strength coaches from Michigan. You got all these Michigan guys at Bowling Green. They aren't going to roll it up on these guys. They're going to take it a little easy on them. So I see Michigan winning by 30 plus, but not 40.
That's some inside stuff that even Vegas isn't even aware of. I like that. I think Michigan wins handily 35-3. That's going to wrap up our pregame coverage. Look for everything and more on themichiganinsider.com. All right, and then just hit X.
Yep.